This game was a game of two halves, but what really changed for Chelsea after the break? Let's break down the tactics behind their turnaround against Real Betis. So in the first half, Chelsea struggled. Betis set up in a passive but compact 4-4-2 defensive structure. The two strikers weren't pressing the ball. Their job was to actually block the central passing lanes. Their wingers would do a really good job at cutting off that ball into the two Chelsea number 10s, Enzo and Palmer, while the two central midfielders stayed nice and tight to the Chelsea double pivot of Gusto and Caicedo. And this made it really difficult for Chelsea to play through Betis, even when a combination was on like this one. You'll see here Chelsea had a really good opportunity to play a quick combination to get the ball out to Enzo. Cucurella into Caicedo, and that needs to go first time round the corner into the space that Enzo has created for himself. But they didn't quite pull the trigger. And one of the few times that they did break that block, it normally relied on the Real Betis wingers ball watching. So you'll see in this example here, Enzo Fernandez actually starting really wide and showing for the ball in a wide area. But now he makes a movement inside back to his original position, but Antony must assume that he's still in that position. Therefore, this opens up a gap for Badiashile to play that ball through, and Enzo has space and time to turn. But this situation didn't happen nearly enough for Chelsea in the first half. But in the second half, there were some big changes to the game. Reece James came on for Malo Gusto at half time, a far more technically competent player, especially in the middle of the park. But more importantly, Chelsea massively increased their intensity in the build-up phase. Betis, on the other hand, actually dropped off. Their line of engagement fell much deeper, and here you can literally see the difference, and it's so important to recognise this. Because remember, in the first half, the Chelsea pivots were behind the two strikers, and the two centre mids were nice and tight onto the pivots. Well, in the second half, the Chelsea pivots were more playing on the same line as the two Betis strikers, and the Chelsea defensive line were about 10 yards closer up the pitch. This means the Betis midfield ultimately dropped off, because they were starting to get worried, and Chelsea's intensity caused them to panic a little bit. So Chelsea started to dictate the play in more attacking areas around the box, particularly out wide. Chelsea used that freedom to create 2v2 and 2v1 overloaded situations in wide areas. And Palmer in particular took full advantage of this. So Betis subbed on the youngster Rodriguez. He's a young winger and he clearly lacks a little bit of defensive competence, because Palmer had him on toast every single time. And both of Chelsea's opening goals came from that exact area of the pitch, from that exact mismatch. And this is a perfect example of how just small tactical shifts can change a game. Betis lost their discipline, started to panic, and Chelsea punished them on 4 occasions. So let me know, what did you spot from the final? And if you love these breakdowns, don't forget to drop a follow.